Sunday, February 16th, 2025, 9:30 a.m. We are currently under a winter weather advisory until 7 p.m. tonight. Kind of hard telling why. Yeah. So, let me bring up just a few topics. Topics without much discussion. All right? So, have you ever tuned in to either of the past TV series, one known as The Time Tunnel from 1966, or maybe The Invaders from 1967? Yes? No? Doesn't matter. Or does it? Well, it's been reported that the Catholic Pope, or Jesuit Pope, yeah, you gotta make sure that you clarify, right? Well, the guy's had lung issues his whole life, apparently. Suffering from bronchitis, apparently. I am very, very familiar with bronchitis, as that was one of my chronic childhood ailments. And quite ironically, was also a chronic ailment while I was in the workforce, specifically within machining factories and plants. Yeah, lung issues. Well, this guy's 88 years old, and well, I do believe it's about time for him to make his maker. And something that we have not seen in the air for many a years is, will it be white smoke or that gray black smoke? And just remember that where there's smoke, there's fire. So let's go to the opposite side of the coin, from old age to young age. Let's bring up designer babies. Are you familiar with that term, designer babies? Well, I believe that we have been introduced to two of them just recently. Barron Trump and Little Boy X. A lot of people are out there making fun of Little X and him shushing Donald Trump and proclaiming, you're not the president." You know, a lot of people are also speculating that, well, he's only 4 years old and he had to have heard that from someone. And people are thinking that his daddy, Elon, is so egotistical that possibly he has been spouting off around his little one that he is in fact the president, right? There's speculations of this going on out there. This is not of my opinion, mind you. No. Designer children are created, genetically enhanced, to be smarter, stronger, and so on and so forth. Okay? Both Barron and Little X are already being labeled as being highly intelligent. Now, let's jog our memories a little bit more as a jet aircraft is flying overhead. You know, the sound of the rumble and all that. Yep, adding to the mixture. But anyways, let's continue on. Pregnancies. Mass pregnancies in singular locations. Do you remember certain fire department to where the wives of the firefighters, gee, just all of a sudden got knocked up at the same time or right around the same time? Do you remember the nurses at a couple of different hospitals to where, I mean, it was just mass pregnancy all of a sudden? All these nurses getting knocked up. And, you know, having group photos, group video recordings. Okay? Cloning was outlawed. Banned. Specifically for humans. But there's genetic alterations before birth. These designer children. Well, I guess you have to have higher than average intellect in order to have to deal with the higher artificial intellect that will have to be dealt with within the future, wouldn't you think? Now, speaking of intellect, let's end on this. Personally, if I got to get somewhere, I take it upon myself to do so, right? I don't have a vehicle, so I have to, you know, beg or bum a ride. Of course, always somehow, you know, covering the costs thereof, as well as time rendered. But transportation is an issue. And, you know, we have laws here in the United States, as well as within the United Nations concerning travel, correct? And I still believe that it's a high violation of law to impede on travel. This was brought up during the pandemic, especially here in Michigan. Well, I cannot board an airplane because, and I can't, you know, board an airplane just to fly from city to city here in the United States because I don't have a proper driver's license. Even though I'm not driving the damn airplane, I can't board any airplanes because I don't have the proper driver's license to do so. And that is, you know, that is a violation of my freedom of travel. And furthermore, when it comes down to the United States of America and traveling from state to state, how united are these states when it comes to travel? Here in Michigan, we only have to have one license plate on our vehicle. But yet you travel into another state to where you have to have a license plate in the front and in the rear of said vehicle. Well, you can get pulled over for not, you know, compliant. Other states, well, it's mandatory that, you know, with certain vehicles, you have to have mud flaps on your vehicle. Right? And so there's, you know, jeopardy in just a simple act of travel and so many deceptions within that. So let's, and we, I don't know if you can hear that. Hear that? Yeah, that's one of our jets going over. That is not something from our local airports. Nope. That's the kind that's involved in what you're seeing right now taking place. So, anyways, so now we have this transportation company known as Lyft that's planning on going autonomous, driverless, right? And they're joining up with a Japanese firm that's going to provide these vehicles. So now we, as Americans, will be getting lazier, fatter, and stupider by once again having, you know, freedoms of travel being trampled on through technology, through a foreign country. And just think, in the future, under a credit system, cryptocurrency, and all this autonomous stuff of getting around and all that, and just think, if make a mistake, and it's deemed illegal, even though it's just a haphazard mistake, and you jump into one of these autonomous cars, oh, doors get locked, and you get a one-way free trip to the local law enforcement agency. And then they will explain, oh, hey, get this. You did this digitally wrong. And so now, we had to bring you in. So now we have taxi companies, or taxiing, there we go, whatever, company that will be acting as enforcement officers. Are you catching? Oh, where did this thought come from? Oh, X-Files. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's a fun episode out there of the X-Files that takes place, futuristically, and the drones and autonomous cars and everything. And hey, it's a forewarning, predictive programming. And that takes you right back to where we began with. Did you ever watch those old 1960s series?